Yo, so in this video, I want to explain to you why these gurus and why these $100 million lies are being done by so many people. So many of your influencers that are seen on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the social media platforms today. Now, you've been lied to. So, these gurus like Iman Ghazi, Tal Lopez, Andrew Tate, sure, they have made their money in the past and they've been able to make multiple five figures with their business, but it's not the one that they're teaching now to get them to the millions or to the Bugatti and Ferrari, Lambo, I think that's a Lambo, to the Lambo levels of wealth that they claim to preach in their courses. And so instead, they're actually selling you the dream. And in today's video, I want to show you exactly how I'm going to build a business which is sustainable, which is ethical, and is also profitable at the same time, which will, may not allow me to get to Bugatti levels of, wealth, but will allow me to finally invest my money into other avenues and create new businesses and invest into software, invest into real estate, etc., by having genuine servicing and business that I'll be doing without selling a course and without falling into the trap of selling a course. And so the fake business model that I want to explain, and let me move my big head out of the way yet again, is that these people are claiming that all of these business models, SMMA, ecom, Forex, and I'm sure to some extent they do work, which is true. To some extent, you can make some money with this, and they're packaging it into $1,000 course to sell you on the dream, to sell you on the fact that you can actually obtain a Bugatti or a Ferrari and just be like them, traveling in private jets and all of that nonsense. And it's all just to sell you a dream and get you into their funnel to believe and have social proof in that what they're doing will actually get you to that point. But it's not true. That one business model that they're doing currently or are showing in that video isn't the actual way that they're getting to that level of wealth. It's a culmination of multiple businesses that they're owning and scaling vertically and horizontally across all the platforms, across all these types of businesses, which actually get you to that level of wealth. It's not just this one singular business model. And so by selling you on the dream, they can simply just make you watch their videos, consume hours of their content, essentially nurture you and breed you to believing that what they're selling you is actually true, and then simply bring you over onto a landing page with the VSL with a bunch of testimonials which actually aren't true and are representative of like the 1% of people who actually do well in this course. And then you simply buy. You simply buy into the flashy lifestyle, you buy into their ads, into their funnel, and all they're doing is selling theory. They're just selling theory without evidence on the fact that what they have done in the past is replicable to other people in this space as well. So let me explain to you how I got to this realization, how I got to this point. And it was initially through my own dropshipping business. So I was selling these silly little lamps here. I even got it here. You can see. And look, these things are cute. That's cool. But I realized that I wasn't actually solving anyone's problem. I was just selling a cool flashy toy that I thought would get me rich really quickly. And so that was my first venture. And how I realized this massive lesson was that to make any money is you need to solve problems, right? You need to understand the exact ideal person that you want to work with and what their problems are, and then solve their problem. And then how you can solve their problem is obviously by giving them the solution. And you make money when you alleviate pain. Now, what is the pain in owning these things? If anything, it's just like the fear of not having it or having FOMO or just, having or just wanting to buy things. And obviously that's not a way to go about business. You cannot make money if you're not solving someone's problem. And so I later on went into making videos for a electrician company. And essentially what I did was for free, film videos for this company. And then I realized there is no way I can actually get them clients. Because first of all, the market of electricians and who they would want to work with, they aren't on Instagram. Like people who actually want to change their light bulb or want to implement these cool lights to their kitchen, they aren't going to be on Instagram and they aren't just going to reply to your story and go into your funnel and then buy from you. And so the same thing was what I realized in this detailing business here, where essentially I'm making videos for them as well, and I realize that they may be getting clients because their demographic, their niche, can actually and would actually respond and actually be on these platforms, and be on Instagram and actually reply to our stories. And so getting some clients was actually worthwhile, but it's not a consistent way and a reliable way to get clients. I mean, imagine just stressing and wondering where your next client is coming from. And so I had to make a shift, right? I had to figure out, you know, a alternative solution, figure out something that I could actually tangibly use, a system that I could use and a funnel that I could implement and a business that I could actually make, which would obviously yield back a lot of return financially, but also give me a lot of fulfillment. And so what I realized was that I had to get a mentor. And how I even came up to that point was that I recently graduated university, right? So it's been about 6 months since I graduated university. And so what I realized is that if I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars, I believe the course is like $30,000 or $40,000, and I'm paying someone to teach me and who has gone through the exact sort of career and processes that I need to go through, why am I not doing that in business? Why am I just watching these free YouTube videos who they're eventually probably trying to sell me, which they are. That's why they make so much content. That's why they leverage content. Why am I not investing this into someone who can give me a step-by-step pathway and walk me through the exact steps that I need to get me from point A to point B? Point A being someone who is now problem aware and also aware of what solution they likely need, but not fully aware. And so working with a mentor, they've already been through that exact same processes that you've gone through. And it's not even just in business. For example, I train in Muay Thai, right? I have a world champion, which I'm very fortunate, training at our gym. And so he's been in, I don't even know, over 300 fights. And so the reason why I even listen to him, the reason why we even go to training is because he has so much experience. He's been there before. He's already gone through the path. He knows how to fight. He knows how to defend and attack and all of these techniques. He knows how to go through the processes of uh, training camp, right? He's done everything from A to B, every single step, every question you could possibly have, he has the answer to. And so, in the same way, in business, I had to find someone who would match that level of expertise, and I did. And so, the real solution to business is you need to stop buying courses from people who only sell courses. They have to actually be currently doing the business that they're preaching right now. For example, for social media marketing, they have to still be running their agency. If it's them spending a couple hours, or if they've completely offloaded it to a VA and have the VA running them, they still have to run an agency. And my mentor, he's been running his agency right now for over 2 to 3 plus years, and his VA is managing the entire operation, which is amazing. And so obviously that's a point that I want to get to. And so they're not experts in, their coaching, they're experts in their actual field, in their actual business. They actually do what they're teaching. And so you need social proof when, looking through their pages. You need to have good client testimonials and actual evidence that they're still running that business. So even for ecom, you want to check the brand. You want to go on, Shop Hunter or whatever, and check that their brand is actually still alive. Because how can you trust someone who doesn't have a live brand? I mean, that means their business has failed, right? That means they switched into a different business because like what they currently were doing was failing. So that was ecom, for example. And so that's why it's important to know exactly what your coach is doing behind the scenes, not just what on the front end you're seeing on their social media and on their stories and what they're preaching on their YouTube. So that's really, really important. Now, the next thing that I'm doing is focusing on high ticket offers. So what done for you means is that we have an entire team which, handles your content, as I said before, handles your content. They do ideation, scripting, editing, even posting for you, get our VAs to post for you. Or if they can't afford the done for you services because it's obviously much more expensive, they can do consulting, they can do done with you. So that's essentially coaching. That is essentially a mentorship where you work one-on-one specifically with that person, giving them the exact solutions that they need to grow from 1 week to the next and actually make an improvement significantly, rather than just going through an entire course and not knowing what their next step would be. Because you can overwhelm people with so much information. You can watch courses that go for hundreds of hours of training, but if it's information that you don't need right now and it could be useful, it could be valuable, then you're going to have decision fatigue and you're not going to know what exactly your next step is going to be. And so by having a high ticket offer, you're not only allowed to charge a lot of money and get a good profit margin, but now you actually have the resources to pay for a team to work specifically with that client to actually get the result. And then the second thing is now your client is also going to be motivated because they've invested so much money into you to work one-on-one with you. They're going to put in so much more effort, because why would you invest a couple thousands of dollars into a program and not put any effort into seeing results, right? That's absolutely ridiculous. But if you pay $50 for a school community, you're not going to care about it at all. You're going to be in multiple communities and not care about anything that you do because you've only paid $50. That's like literally the amount of coffee money you would spend in an entire month. I know people use that analogy so much, but it's honestly true. But again, subscriptions build up, right? Subscriptions, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon, whatever, they build up and they do cost a lot of money. And so the point I'm trying to make with that specifically is that when you spend money, when you reinvest anything back into your business, you want an ROI. And if you're spending $50 into a school community, the ROI is not really going to be massive, right? You're not going to get a lot of return. And so that's why what you're getting costs that much. It's pretty simple. And that's why I personally am not doing the school community sort of funnel right now and don't believe in it unless it is an upsell, sorry, a downsell. And I can talk about that in the future if you like. But that's why I'm liking the high ticket model. Now, the next thing is making content and leveraging social proof. So having case studies, having client testimonials on my stories and highlights. As you can see, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see plenty of client testimonials, which I am still building out and I'm still making, I guess, the volume of that increase. That's why I care so much about client testimonials. In these courses, you'll see like some people have client testimonials, some people have results, but the amount of results that they're having is not that plenty. And those people are the top 1% of all of the clients that actually sign up to the course. But mine are every single client that I work with get a result. The processes, the result that they get is guaranteed. Obviously, if they put in the work in, the system is proven. There is no way in which if they followed every single thing that I have told them to do on a weekly basis, that they won't get the result. And, for some people, an explanation on why some people may not get the result is because sometimes the situation involves, for example, they may not have enough ad budget, and as a result, they can't get a outcome, an ROI that is much quicker than someone who has, let's say, $1,000 to spend, $2,000 to spend per month on ads. And as you can see, the results that someone can get is purely determined on their situation and also the amount of hard work that they put in. But I believe that even if you're not financially qualified and you put in all your work into the most very basic thing, which is just cold outbound, so messaging people cold, you're still going to be able to get some clients and then eventually scale quickly enough so that you can have some cash to actually spend onto your ads, because ads are easily scalable. And so having a results first mindset is just so important to me and should be important to you guys. Not selling a course which has 100 people in there and only 1 to 5 of those people actually get the result they came in for. So the last thing is scaling the right way. So when hiring, you want to hire experts, people that genuinely want to grow alongside with you in the business, people who are even smarter than you, right? If you look at all the big businesses in the world, they have people who, at the top being the CEO, and the CEO manages, whatever the executives on the, I guess, lower tier. And those executives are managing people who, for example, let's say they're software engineers who have extremely, extremely smart people in that field. They know how to code from the front to the back end to everything. I mean, I'm not a coding expert, but I know for a fact that all those engineers, all those software engineers are much smarter when it comes to coding and actually doing that than the CEO. But then you question yourself, why is the CEO still the boss? Why are they in charge? Well, because they know how to manage the purpose. They're not managing people. They know how to manage the purpose of the business. They know how to get the outcome of the business. They just need the right people put into the right places under their guidance to actually move the business forward, to grow the business. And that's essentially what hiring experts will allow you to do. You don't hire cheap VAs with no experience. you can train them and get them to that level, but you want to hire people who, like growth specialists, who have already gone through the entire phase of nurturing and setting appointments and getting people from not knowing who you are to actually becoming clients to actually be working with you. And that's how you build long-term, relationships with these people, because they're not people who are online and you're just offloading your work to third-party people. These are people who you genuinely want to work with, and eventually possibly meet up in the future and go on a trip together and actually build a sort of family, build a culture around your team. And that's something that I learned from Simon Squibb. So shout out to him. He's a great guy. Well, hopefully one day I can actually speak to him in person. But that's what we want them to do, because the people in these course selling sort of businesses, they're not hiring experts. They're just hiring people who can get the job done cheaply so they can maintain a good profit margin. Now, sure, they can probably hire a success manager for a good price or a good amount of money, but the client success isn't going to be that high because the structure of how they're delivering to those clients is just simply a couple of videos and no actual support. Now, the next thing, and we kind of already spoke about long-term clients, so I'll speak more about automations, is that with automations, you want to use, for example, software to leverage your time and to make the job of these experts much easier. So for example, I have an appointment setter, right? And I'm using a software right now to automatically send cold DMs on Instagram to 50 plus people per day on one account. Now imagine how many I can send on multiple accounts, right? And so my setter does not have to sit in the DMs and first of all find people to send messages to, because I've scraped them automatically and put them through different functions to have people according to their bio, I guess like keywords in their bio, be scraped and have them in a list, and then implement that list into the software, where that software will go out and message people on Instagram for me on my account. And so my setter, all he has to do is manage the tracking sheet, track people from that that reply to the message that the bot sends, and then manage the conversation and set the call. They don't have to do the first part, which is setting an opener, which takes up a lot of time, and we've automated that. So that's one example of automation. And so doing that allows you to not only implement the similar systems for your own clients, but at the same time, you can save so much time and just have a better customer relationship and just fulfillment process. So, if you're tired of wasting all of your money on these courses that get you nowhere, and you actually want to build a business that you genuinely feel proud of, and that you're one that you can actually look back onto in a year's time from now and actually be, actually smile and actually be proud of, then subscribe. You thought I was going to sell you or bring you to a landing page, but genuinely, if you want to build a high ticket revenue business that operates purely online, and that one that genuinely helps people and solves people's problems, then all you have to do is subscribe, and I'll be happy to help. So have a good day. See ya. Bye bye.